Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Monday, and I hope your week is off to a great start. Today we are talking about multiple observations where people are seeing outdoor ads for cryptocurrency services all over the place, on the sides of buses, in metros, on billboards, really everywhere. And we'll share with you our thoughts about what we think this means in terms of implications. Something is happening. And here on Twitter, @RhythmTrader notes that 11.5 million Bitcoin have not moved in over a year. That's despite an 85% increase in price during that time. On Decrypt.co, we are talking about the 2020 Bitcoin halving. On U.Today, Vechain Thor blockchain will host Microsoft-backed release of 1980s Gamebook. Microsoft is up to a lot behind the scenes. On Reddit here, you have different individuals talking about what the implications and possible consequences may be. We dare to go back and ask the question, what's going on between Microsoft and Enjin? We asked this question back on the 15th of November. We'll revisit the possibilities there. And finally, on altcoinbuzz.io, Cardano and Coti release AdaPay. All that and more. Let's first take a look, however, at the markets. Down a little bit, perhaps 199 billion total market cap. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin sits at $7,318, down about a half a percentage point in the last 24 hours. Things are kind of somewhat down or sideways, and Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, 66.5%. All right, although this is not exactly the best picture, bear with me. Here at UK Trader Crypto, I saw a bus in London with an advert on its side for a money transfer company that had a powered by Ripple logo. I took a photo and fell over at the same time. You're welcome. Some would call it art. Going to put it on the blockchain. Well, that's one of many observations here at Crypto BTC Chris. First thought, when you see this, send money to India. I've talked about it before. To me, the really largest application, or at least the most practical day-to-day use case for cryptocurrencies, for blockchain, is the remittance industry. Everybody that uses remittance services currently, as they stand today, are getting ripped off. So imagine what's going through your head when you see this ad, and maybe you're one of those people working hard, sending money back home. You're being charged 10%, 15%, maybe 20%. Unbelievable use case. Here, the future is coming. Crypto without chaos. An ad for the Gemini exchange on the side of this bus right here. I guess that's not loading. Here at John Mon, whatever. Saw cryptocurrency ad on a bus this morning. Another Gemini ad. At Binance, spotted on the Singapore MRT. I guess that's some kind of a rail transit system, rather. So there you go. There you go, rather. Advertisements for Binance, highlighting Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and others. Here also on Twitter, this is a view of the San Francisco skyline approaching the Bay Bridge, going from San Francisco to Oakland. There is a big advertising campaign here in San Francisco at lots of the bus and railway stops. Yes, it's a real billboard. And as you can see, time for Plan B. It's a crypto.com billboard. Also highlighted here, this is surprisingly good advert. Well done, crypto.com. It reads as follows: the $22 trillion printer will never stop, referring, of course, to quantitative easing, referring to central banks printing money and thereby diluting the value of any dollar you ever choose to save. Time for Plan B. Plan Bitcoin, of course. Our very own Shash at email Shashwat, make sure you're following, taking a crypto.com cab partying in Singapore. And as you can see, we have the logo here festooned on the side of this cab. So not only in one spot, not only in the UK or, in that part of I suppose, the continent, but also in San Francisco, as we've seen, and now confirming in Singapore as well. Great news. Another little bit of good news here, and just an observation, but one that we thought was worth raising. Here, slight typo, by the way, it's 11,580,000 Bitcoin have not moved in over a year. 11,580,000. Even with a 85% increase in price during that time, those millions of Bitcoin were not sold or traded. Hodlers of last resort are insane. And I think that's said a little bit facetiously. I think it speaks to the determination of those hodlers and the fact that they are resolute. I count myself among them. Let us know if you do as well. Here in the news on Decrypt.co, we are talking about 2020. Maybe that's what all the hodlers are waiting for. The Bitcoin halving is coming next year. What does it mean? Well, just in case you're not familiar with the halving, it's going to happen at block 630,001, which is predicted to take place on the 14th of May 2020. That's when the mining reward will drop from the current 12.5 Bitcoin to 6.25 Bitcoin per block, and those blocks are mined by way of information every 10 minutes or so. This would be the third halving event for Bitcoin. It happens approximately every 4 years or every 210,000 blocks. The first halving in 2012 reduced the block reward from 50 down to 25, and then in 2016 it halved again from 25 to 12.5 Bitcoin. You can read about those first and second halvings here. Again, the first one occurred November 28, 2012, and the second occurred on July 9th, 2016. When taking those other two halving events into consideration, what we need to know is that Bitcoin historically has a precedent of appreciating in value going into and out of each of its halving cycles, allowing for some fluctuations here and there. It's all about market equilibrium, right? This is a demand and supply curve, and therefore a reduction in the amount of the availability of a certain asset, in this case, Bitcoin, a reduction in the amount of what is available is going to psychologically mean that the people, collectively the consumers, view it as less available and therefore more valuable because it is more scarce. If the bull market in mining hash rate continues in 2020, it won't be out of the ordinary for history to repeat itself again with the 2020 halving. See you on the other side. Much more information here about what happened during those last couple of halving events, again in 2016, and the first one happening in 2012. So check out this article for more information. Decrypt.co, link is in the description. On U.Today here, Vechain Thor blockchain will host Microsoft-backed release of 1980s Gamebook. The Way of the Tiger, one of Gamebook genre pioneers and a true 1980s legend, will be released with non-fungible tokens on Vechain Thor. Microsoft is on board. If you're not familiar with Way of the Tiger, it was released back in the 1980s by award-winning author Jamie Thompson. It reveals the story of a fantasy world where the reader becomes a young samurai who takes on a journey to avenge his foster father and recover stolen artifacts. Jamie Thompson has decided to take his exciting role-playing game to the world of blockchain, saying, quote, "Imagine playing Magic the Gathering, but knowing if you owned a card, it really does belong to you." And that's how Jamie Thompson described the role of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, in his future game. According to the press release, game production startups Eidos and Fable will join forces with IT mogul Microsoft to develop this game. So the Way of the Tiger will launch on the Vechain Thor blockchain, which is generally associated with enterprises and supply chain management. The project's infrastructure was powered by the Ethereum blockchain before it transitioned to the native Vechain Thor blockchain. And as with anything, the sleuths on Reddit have dug into this topic in more detail here. Microsoft to turn 1980s Gamebook into blockchain card game. Top comment, like I've said, but will reiterate here as it may reach more ears, and I'm not one for false hype, Microsoft are not developing this game, Way of the Tiger, Fabled Lands Limited, and are developing the game on Vechain and using VeryArty as their non-fungible token onboarder and trading platform. However, the CEO of Way of the Tiger, Fabled Lands Limited, is a good friend with Microsoft game concept developer who is joining their team along with some other big names. So that's the reality. Still great, plenty of exposure for VET, TX, and of course good to see Vechain step into another industry. Check out the rest of the discussion. People, as you may imagine, are talking about it quite a bit over on Reddit as usual. At Altcoin Buzz IO tweeting the following when it comes to Microsoft. Just saw some Microsoft items on Enjin X. What's up with this at Enjin? Can we have more details, please? Here's the link, of course, and you may remember we discussed this a little while ago, a couple weeks ago now, back on the 15th of November, and it would seem that the platform assets for Enjin here reflect quite a few from Microsoft. Well, quite a few, 6, at least a half dozen or so, but they seem pretty official, and it's all kinds of Microsoft badger insignia and trademarked material that for whatever reason we can't quite pin down. We told you there'd be more news about this if and when it emerged. It hasn't yet, so it's kind of a mystery. It's just sitting here in a weird way in suspended animation, if you will. Don't worry, we are keeping an eye on this story, but nothing has developed as of yet. Our fingers are crossed that perhaps, as you have Microsoft dipping their toes in the water of blockchain and NFTs, perhaps something is cooking with Enjin as well. We'll let you know as soon as it is confirmed one way or another. Finally, here on altcoinbuzz.io, Cardano and Coti released AdaPay. Article here by David. Cardano Foundation and Coti have put a smile on merchants' faces with the launch of the long-awaited AdaPay. We talked about this the other day, so not to belabor the point too much, but the Cardano Foundation, in collaboration with the enterprise-grade fintech platform Coti, announced the launch of the long-awaited AdaPay. Check out the rest of David's article for all the additional information pertaining to this partnership, as well as information about ADA, about Cardano, what they're up to, and what they hope to achieve. All right, everybody, that about wraps it up for today. Hey, make sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels. As you know, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and Twitter, of course. Keep checking back into the website. It is altcoinbuzz.io. That's where you're going to find all the latest and greatest in terms of news. And in terms of the news we cover, it is all found in the description below. Links to everything we discuss can be seen there. You can also check the description for information on how to get your hands on a $50 MCO card. That's courtesy of crypto.com. The description also has information about how to sign up to our official Altcoin Buzz newsletter. Using that, you're going to stay even more up to date, so why not? And hey, we have another giveaway to discuss. Between now and the 7th of December, that is a Saturday, we are giving away another Crypto Tag Zeus starter kit, and the rules are the same. All you have to do is subscribe to Altcoin Buzz on YouTube. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you write a comment, again, between now and the 7th of December, and you'll have a chance to win. We will be drawing a random comment as the winner. So hey, best of luck if you choose to enter, best of luck if you choose to invest, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.